Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Sing it, Zach.
Happy birthday, dear Katie.
Sing it, Zach. Big 12-year-old. Go Birdie Cake.
And you get birthday whippings.
Katie, 12 years old, spending your birthday with Zach in the hospital.
I'm cold.
Shalom, shalom. HALALYAM, YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, QADASH. The honors of the elders and apostles, the great millstone, and teach them of well, peace and salutations be to those who elect. But that tells them, welcome to another lesson. This is going to be going to this article with this child. Alright, it says, a Georgian mother claims her son will never be the same again after smoking a fentanyl-laced vape. According to the boy's mother, a group of bullies coerced her 13-year-old son from Georgia, USA, into smoking a vape pen infused with the lethal substance, fentanyl, resulting in a stroke. There's a video as well showing how the boy's life has changed forever. Showing how the boy's life has changed forever because of the stroke he had. Fucked up his brain. So now it's like he's trying to relearn how to walk and all that stuff again. Nevertheless, fentanyl is a very dangerous substance, man. Let's go see. Let's see, it says, narcotic, it says it can treat severe pain. It's a controlled substance. We're talking about fentanyl here. Common brands, Diurogesic, Abstral, Subsys. Controlled substance, high risk for addiction and dependence. Can cause respiratory distress and death when taken in high doses or when combined with other substances, especially alcohol or other illicit drugs such as heroin or cocaine. It says avoid alcohol. Very serious interactions can occur. Where does fentanyl come from? The precursor chemicals making up the essential ingredients of fentanyl and fentanyl-related substances is from China. After being shipped to Mexico, the chemicals are produced into fentanyl-containing tablets and enters the United States via our southern border. What is fentanyl used for? What is fentanyl? Pharmaceutical fentanyl is a synthetic opioid approved for treating severe pain, typically advanced cancer pain. It is 50 to 100 times. Slovakia. It is 50 to 100 times more potent than morphine. It is prescribed in the form of transdermal patches or lozenges and can be diverted from misuse. It can be diverted for misuse and abuse in the United States. but gummies are laced with fentanyl. Steele said both fentanyl and heroin were found in strictly Delta gummies called Delta 8 THC 600 mg Happy Cubes, sold at 3 tobacco hut stores in the county. The gummies have caused 2 overdoses. Steele said both victims have recovered. The DA said the overdoses led to an investigation. What is rainbow fentanyl? What is rainbow fentanyl? Rainbow fentanyl is a newer phenomenon in which fentanyl is mixed with dyes and either pressed into brightly colored pills or sold as powder in various colors. It is likely that drug traffickers are using these dyes to avoid detection and potentially appeal to teens and young adults. Alright, so not so long ago, they came out with that, saying fentanyl being disguised as candy. And it looks like fucking Smarties are this candy called Sweethearts, so that it can deceive children, you know. But people are getting real fucked up from this. You know, I had a coworker that told me about her brother that took it, her brother and her friend that took it, and her brother died from it, and her friend that took it recovered, but he was forever blind after, you know. So this thing can really get in there and do some damage, man, you know. And it's not to be played with. Many people have been dying from fentanyl overdose lately. Alright, but the kid was literally just poisoned with fentanyl. And the point of this lesson is I want to go into is just not to be trusting strangers or even, you know, going down that route of doing drugs, shit like that. But don't be accepting things from strangers like that, man, because you never know what the fuck they got going on, what their motives are, you know, what they're trying to do to you. Because you can get fucked up like this kid got fucked up, this 13-year-old. Let's see, give me 1 second. This book, Ecclesiastes, chapter 11, verse 10. My son, meddle not with many matters, for if thou meddle much, thou shalt not be innocent. And if thou follow after, thou shalt not obtain. Neither shalt thou escape by fleeing. Alright, so don't be a busybody in many matters. You know, don't be hanging around too many people, hanging around the wrong crowd, and, you know, trying to get to know the wrong people, whatever. You know, because that boy was around the wrong people, and they bullied him into smoking that vape pen, and when he did, you know, his body will never be the same, man. You know, so trust in the Lord always and stay away from these people in the world, because these people can get grimy, you know. I got this. The book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 6 and verse 7. If thou wouldest get a friend, prove him first, and be not hasty to credit him, because that friend that you get can very well be your biggest enemy, and you won't know it until he pulls a fast one on you, man. It says, for some man is a friend for his own occasion. It says, and will not abide in the day of thy trouble. All right. And there is a friend who, being turned to enmity, and strife will discover thy reproach. Alright, so it says, and there's a friend who being turned to enmity, and strife will discover thy reproach. So pretty much discovering your secrets, telling the world your secrets. Again, some friend is a companion at the table and will not continue in the day of affliction. You know, when you go through it, they ain't gonna be there for you. They're only there when you're prospering, but when you're going through it, they're gonna be gone. You know, boys, for example, they wasn't in the hospital celebrating his birthday with him. They were gone, nowhere to be found. They just know that some boys forced him to smoke a vape, and now you know, you can't really function properly. But in thy prosperity he will be as thyself, and will be bold over thy servants. If thou be brought low, he will be against thee, and will hide himself from thy face. Separate thyself from thine enemies, and take heed of thy friends. So you gotta be careful, man. Get away from your enemies. Scriptures say, never trust your enemy. For like it's iron rusted, so does his wickedness. You hanging out with the wrong people, they're gonna show you why you shouldn't have been hanging out with them. You gotta discern these people before you can just be around them. Or else you're putting your entire life in danger. Separate thyself from thy enemies, and take heed of thy friends. Even your friends. Check them. Make sure they ain't like that. Examine them and observe them. You know, you gotta be sure that they ain't gonna switch up on you, man. You know? It's like we just read, some man is a friend for his own gain, for his own benefit. So, in that case, you should always be careful. No matter who you're around. Make sure you know these guys, man. Or girls, whoever it may be you're around. You hanging around people in the world, you're even more in danger because they don't understand the truth and the mercy and the kindness of the Lord, YAHAWASHI. They just know that they got to get it how they live. You know, these people are beasts. And they do beastly things. And they don't really consider one another. You know. Ecclesiasticus 6:17. Whoso feareth the Lord shall direct his friendship aright. For as he is, so shall his neighbor be also. Alright. My son, gather instruction from thy youth up, so shalt thou find wisdom till thine old age. Alright, so take heed to these words, man. Take heed to these scriptures. And you're gonna find wisdom quick. You know? But if you can't do that, man, you're gonna be in trouble. Because the scriptures are like a guidance to us. If you don't want no guidance, and you don't want to read the scriptures, you're going to constantly find yourself falling into every trap. But I truly hope this quick lesson was edifying to your argument. I'll go out to listen to the truth with sincerity. Until next time, I do say shalom.